I'm going to say hi to Paula, and we know it will be a tough story. From what she's going to tell us, I was able to talk to her just 10 seconds off the air. Paula, how are you? Good evening.
Good evening.
Welcome. Tell me again what you were just telling me off the air so people listening to Pop can hear you.
About, I think, a year ago, my daughter passed away. She left in a very abrupt way because it was her own decision. And that hurts even more because it leaves you with guilt, it leaves you with a lot of things that in this loneliness. And I talked to you one day when I was very distressed. And I told you the signs that she was giving me. While I was really down, I was buried alive. And my daughter would turn on the television. She would say to me, I'm connected to the network. You know, like in the movies. I'm connected to the family network. I used to hear noises in the kitchen. All those things made me. I saw her light on the wall next to my bed at dawn when I couldn't take it anymore. While I was telling you all this, so distressed. You played another audio of mine that I listened to it. But I couldn't communicate anymore because I didn't know what to do because a voice appeared saying, that's enough. And you put him on the air again. I don't think you remember, but...
I don't remember, but to confirm, I spoke with you live and you also sent an audio message on WhatsApp. Or was that a replay of the on-air recording?
No, I spoke with you on air. And then you played another one. And when Paula Solis contacted us, and underneath you can hear a sound, a voice. And the voice said, enough already. And you were telling me, what could it mean? I heard it. It was my daughter's voice saying, that's enough. And it was the way my daughter speaks.
Of course.
That's enough.
Of course.
And he was telling me, enough. Enough of everything you're saying. Enough of suffering.
Of course.
Stop mentioning me.
Enough of the pain, actually. I know it's hard.
I think if you look for it.
Now I remembered, I don't have it on hand right now because we don't have the file here, but we do have it on the hard drives. I remember your story clearly now because I felt the same way I'm about to describe. I believe I said this on air. I felt your daughter was asking you to stop seeing her through pain and start seeing me with gratitude for having been in your life. I'm not sure if I mentioned it, but I likely went that way.
Yes, and you went out and said it several times. And it was her. Enough already. Even her sister. I played it for her sister and she told me, that's Ari. Today I went to the cemetery. That's why it's incredible that you're talking about this. Look, the first time I went to the cemetery, I was completely stunned. And the one who went again to the Chacarita cemetery knows that if you don't have the address of the place where they are,
you get lost.
It's impossible to find her. I was so anxious, so upset that I talked to her. I told Ari, make me find you. Tell me where you are, Mamu. Don't make me leave without seeing you, without giving you this plant I brought you. On the way, I find a stone with the number 25. The 25th is the day she left.
First sign.
I grabbed the stone and I said, I can't believe it. The first sign. It made me feel like you'll find me, Mom, because...
Of course.
I went to the cemetery feeling brave because one day I went out for a walk on the street and I was disoriented. I don't know how I ended up at the Chacarita wall. I live about 30 blocks from Chacarita. And there was a voice inside me that said, there's a place for you to sit because I couldn't take it anymore. When I look at where the place to sit was, I can't explain how I got there. At 3 in the morning at the Chacarita wall. And she made me feel like she wanted me to come in. Because until that moment, I couldn't go in.
Of course.
I bought a plant and took it to her. I think I gathered the courage after about 3 days. And I asked the caregivers, I was like crazy, crying. like crazy. I asked where can I find her, and they told me if you don't have the address, it's totally impossible to find her here. And that day I found her. I told her I would find her, but she said no. Without the address, you can't find her? And I found her. She guided me to the place where she was. It's impossible. Today I went again with the address, and I took the wrong way, but I was accompanied, and that person took care of finding the address. And I told her, can you believe that I came here without the address, and I asked her, daughter, help me find you. And she guided me to where she was, and I think there are a few people, the people who went to the place, know that it's impossible to find a place when you don't have the address. And I found it. I was able to put the flower. I was able to put the number I found along the way during that journey where I didn't know where to go. I put it next to the flower. And today I went, and I was there thinking they were going to take it away from me. I was afraid they'd take it, and the 25 was still there. And today, more than anything, going in that direction, I realized that it was impossible for me to find her now, even more so, now that I'm thinking clearly. And I realized it was a sign.
Of course.
That she spoke to me. She told me to come in. Come and bring it to me. First that night. And regarding the kids you mentioned, my daughter when she was little, the one who passed away, what can I say? I used to walk sometimes on the sidewalk across the street because I had to go somewhere. And I used to walk along the cemetery walls. And she used to say to me, Mommy, up there on those walls, there are kids sitting dressed from different eras. And I would say to her, really? And what are they doing, Ari? I say to her, and she says, nothing. They're just watching us. I mean, it's something that gives you the assurance that they happen and that they're there. And when you have such great pain, it's very hard to convince yourself. When I hear all these things and they happen to me, the way I told you that they happened to me, and the way you heard in your audio that he told me, that's enough. That was his voice, Hector. And those were his words, because besides, he also said, that's enough. It was hers. When she was, there were things you would say, enough already, and it was her.
Even the way she spoke.
The way she spoke and her voice.
And the voice, of course, by the voice, you confirmed it for me with your other daughter who recognized her. But even the way she spoke.
And me too. But I couldn't talk to you. You would say to me, if you're out there, I hope this is a sign.
I remember now.
You used to say that to me. You used to say to me, huh? Did you hear that? I don't know how. Because when I spoke to you on the air, my voice wasn't heard.
Of course.
You heard it later and played it on the air?
Because I want to tell you first, we're all here, all of us. I'm going to include myself and the whole paranormal community and the entire pop audience. We all embrace you, your family. Feel embraced because everyone is sending you their best vibes. Stay strong. Look, I'll read you a couple of messages. Celeste, stay strong. Celeste says to you, your daughter guided you. Don't be sad. She's present, even if unseen. That's what they want to show us. I think exactly the same. No. I think that our loved ones who went ahead, first, we shouldn't feel like we're never going to see them again. That's not true. Because they just went ahead on a journey that we're going to take too. So I say, there's going to be a reunion. Of course there's going to be a reunion. But they ask that we, who are still in this world, live remembering them but not suffering. No, I think that the enough already is the stop crying, mom, stop suffering. I'm here, I'm still here, but they can't give us an explicit sign. But look at the number of signs. And the electronic voice phenomenon, which also... The electronic voice phenomenon may be for people who aren't into the paranormal. Is it crazy or is it something extraordinary? But I'm telling you, Paula, and to the people listening to us, instrumental transcommunication, is a very common practice now all over the world, where there are people in Argentina, there's a group, they get together once a month to talk to their loved ones through trance communication sessions. Ultimately, it's about recording white noise, asking questions, and listening to the playback. Now I remember. Why didn't we hear it live, and why was it heard in the recording? I also remember now what happened. Because sometimes the broadcast goes through a process from the transmitter plant, which is not the same as what I hear live in the headphones, because we are in a stage before the broadcast. Now, when the show goes on air analogically through frequency modulation transmission, that's when the frequencies of the disembodied appear, and I don't hear them live. But later, when we review the on-air reference tape, that's when it shows up. I remember...
Honestly, I don't know how you noticed.
It's not that I didn't notice when we were on air. I remember what happened. I was talking to you and a lot of people started asking me, did you hear that, Hector?
Yes, and people were telling you and people heard it.
Of course, because...
No, me neither.
The one who was listening over the air heard it live, but we who are connected remotely, it's something technical to explain. But it's as if we were in a stage before the broadcast. So we didn't hear it, but the one listening over the air did hear it. That's why we had to get the recording from the broadcast. Anyway, your daughter eventually revealed herself.
Regarding what you said about how they communicate, I was able to communicate with her. Because during the intense pain of those first few months, I went to a place. But I went to a good place, which a group sent me to, Renatzer, from a lady. And she told me that when the time comes, she will come to get me. Is it true? I think you say that.
Of course.
We're going to see each other again.
And sorry, and I'm still listening to you. What it means that they come to get us is that when our time comes, we don't have to do anything to pass away. No, I want to make it clear. When our time comes, they come to get us. They make that transition.
If you happen to find the tape where she speaks, if you want to play it again, because I'm speaking to all the mothers who have gone through this. And I think it's not for nothing. But the pain of a mother who loses a child, you already lose your ego. You lose a lot of things you used to be. And now you're someone else. So if any mom is listening to me, since you brought up this topic for a reason, today when I went to see her, everything that happened to me happened for a reason. If any mom is listening to me, I want to tell you that I managed to move forward a little, just a little, thanks to the signs she herself gave me. I have woken up and seen lights all over my room, with images, perfect circles that embraced me. That were lights that I say. Where does it come from if everything is dark? And sometimes, you know why I'm telling you this? So I don't forget it.
Of course.
So it stays with me. And once I turn around in bed, I don't know if I told you that day. I see an image that was like a Mercury type light. It was a light that moved, but it didn't leave the axis where it was. I touch it and say, what is this? Where is it coming from? I turn around to see where it's coming from. And when I look back at the light again, it was gone. If there are signs, those are it.
Of course.
And they're the ones who would say to me, Mom, I'm here. But with all the anxiety you have in that moment, it's like, I don't know how to, you don't really interpret them, you interpret them later.
Yeah, it's hard.
Later, when the time comes, like you just said, you start interpreting them. And today, when I went to the cemetery, already accompanied today, after all the times I went alone, and I saw the place where she was and how I found her blindly. Today I went with the address because I went the other way and the person who was with me said, wait, I'll go ask. I told him, but I came, I found her. I found her without direction. Today I was also going blindly. And I went somewhere else, totally different. And today I realized
Why is the dog barking? Sorry, why is the dog barking?
I don't know what the dog is barking at.
While you were telling the story, it was growling. I was hearing it growling, right?
Yes.
And now,
And now
and this is your daughter. I mean, there's no doubt. She's showing herself now while you're talking about her. She's there because the puppies can sense it and they react the way they can. The dog is showing you, the dog that's alive, that's in this world, is showing you that she's there. There's no other explanation. You understand that it's fair?
it's fair that it came out on your show. It was incredible, Hector. Everyone was asking for my address. Everyone was saying, Paula Solis, what's the number? I didn't even dare to tell them the number, so they wouldn't think that I wanted to. Followers or that I wanted them to talk to me or something like that. I said it like that. And today, after so many days, I have the strength to talk to you because today I went to see her and I realized that it was truly impossible for me to find the place where my daughter was. If she didn't guide me, it would have been completely impossible. And today I was convinced that the sign that she gave me and the number I found on the way, as if saying, don't go, you will find me. It was a sign to everyone who is suffering, to the moms who are suffering, know that your baby is right beside you. And it's very heartbreaking too, to see them like that in that condition. I mean, it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking, the signs, because they're such clear signs that they leave you here alone without her, you know?
Of course.
But they're there.
That's what.
And they give me strength.
Of course.
And little by little, I'm getting hooked on that.
This is what I was going to tell you. It takes time. Grieving takes time. But those signs have to serve as if they were ropes that your daughter is throwing to you so you can get out of the pit, out of that pit of pain. Because the place you need to reach is a point where obviously you will have your daughter present every day in a different way. As Drexler says, everything changes, right? Just like that beautiful phrase and song say. I suggest you look it up later. Jorge Drexler, Everything Transforms. You're going to love it. Because it's related to that love and your daughter's presence. Today it's in a different way. And you have to reconnect with your life, with yourself, with giving yourself the chance to smile again, to do things for yourself again, to rediscover yourself as a person, as a woman, yourself with what makes you feel good. And in all those moments when you smile again, your daughter will be there too, smiling with you. That's the message they give us. It's instead of us, while we're alive, we die with them or fade away. It's the other way around. They will accompany us and keep accompanying us on this physical journey of life until we meet again. But what your daughter is saying from enough already to the dog barking is, Mom, get out of there, stop crying. I'm still with you in another way. But unless someone tells you, since I haven't had children to lose, I've only lost other loved ones. Until you stop crying? No, your vision is clouded. Crying clouds your vision. When you stop crying, you start to see the person who passed away in a different way, but who is still present in another form, I think your daughter is asking you for that.
Today I realized that what I did was crazy. To grab a plant from my house, I bought it across the street. To blindly walk to the cemetery. And to think that I was going to find her. It was crazy.
But it was a certainty.
And today I realized that, yes, I do guide myself. Yes, I guide myself since I couldn't find her. And in your show she spoke.
Of course.
She said, enough already. But I still couldn't. I still couldn't speak. I couldn't go on with this. And I couldn't reach out to you until just now. And you are asking me to reach out. You were saying, Paula Solis, if you're out there, I don't know what to say to you, but listen to this. And everyone They said they had heard her, except for me.
Of course.
And you noticed. So if we're talking about signs and ashes and all that, it's true. It's true. They give us, I don't know, they communicate with us. They find a way. Me walking at night, I think I told you about that. When I couldn't take it anymore. I think my knees would buckle on the sidewalk alone in the early morning crying. Because I told him, Ari, if you're not here, I won't be able to go on. Help me because I won't be able to go on. And the security cameras started to emit a light. Like between white, you can't tell what kind of whiteness and what a different kind of light. And they started to twinkle, and I said, don't you see it? With the desperation you feel in that moment. You don't understand?
Of course.
You can't believe it, you know. Afterwards, when time goes by and you start saying, interpreting the signs, those signs stay with you. And it's like they give you a kind of strength so you can say, hey, yes, they communicated, you know? Because at that moment you're so overwhelmed that you're not even able to see it.
Paula.
And you are many.
I want to thank you that... First, I know it's not a coincidence that today, when we're talking about these topics, you went to the cemetery and you were live to talk. Everything has to do with the same signs they give us. And I hope you can keep listening to the show more often to reconnect with so many people who can help you. I mean that in the best way. Teach you to get out completely from that place and go through the pain in a different way. That you also allow yourself to smile again, because you deserve it too.
Look, Hector, I came back from the cemetery exhausted, with a terrible fatigue, just so tired. You have no idea. I took a pill and I fell asleep. I don't know if I was half asleep or fully asleep. I don't know until just now. I woke up and something told me to grab my phone. And I didn't want to grab my phone because there are TikTok voices, everything that bothers me right now. And everything that's happening. And then I saw him next to my nightstand. I grabbed my phone and the first thing that popped up was you. And you were just talking about these stories. That's why I said it's time to talk to him, because I think I should finish what happened on your show. I had to speak and I had to tell the audience and thank them for listening to that voice. Because if everyone hadn't listened to that voice, I would have gone unnoticed. I would have stayed and we would have never heard it. You had the clarity to grab it and put it on the air, and I heard it.
Thank you so much, Che, for telling us all this. I ask you not to disappear, to stay attentive, to keep connecting with us, to write to us, because we also want to hear from you, and I'm sure that every time we talk, you'll be a little better, you'll see.
To the moms who are going through something like this, to the moms who lost their baby, my baby was 33 years old. But it's always your baby who left you. To the moms who are going through something like this, my talk to me. I'm Paula Solis 916. That day I didn't say it because I was afraid they'd think something different, something that's not true. Because I'm not interested in followers. I'm not interested in doing anything on TikTok. I'm not interested in any of that. But if there's any mom who's going through what I went through right now, write to me and I'll tell you everything I told you. Personally, whatever you need, because I needed it and I didn't have it.
The best thing you can do is to meet people who have gone through the same thing, so that to grow together and to help each other. Paula, I send you a big hug. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you, and may God bless you, Hector.
Same to you.
May God give you much light and may God bless you.
Same to you.
And thank you, because that day it was my daughter who spoke and you were asking for confirmation and I couldn't give it to you then, but I'm giving it to you now. I send you a kiss, and to everyone who's listening to me, if someone feels really bad, maybe that's why I called and found you. Know that you're here, know that I received the signs, and the television that turned on by itself twice and played for me, inserted into the family network. Now it echoes, the sound was working perfectly. And now the sound doesn't echo anymore. It seems it was some kind of energy.
All of this that you're telling me, even though I haven't experienced it myself, I can confirm it because both times I talked to you, first your daughter's voice appeared and just now the dog did. Growling, barking, and now he's quiet. I mean, it's amazing how they give us these signs. Your daughter is very close. And your job is to change your perspective from the feeling of loss to the feeling of constant presence. That's kind of the work.
I'm speaking to you from a place of love. Right now, I'm speaking to everyone. If there's anyone who's not doing well, like me, I know what it's like to feel dead inside. I'm speaking from a place of love, no, without ego, without anything. I don't want people to follow me. I don't want any of that. I don't want more followers on TikTok. That's not it. I'm speaking to you from a place of love. If you need to, tell me what's going on with you, and I will gladly, very, very calmly and without asking you to follow me or anything, I will tell you how my daughter was with me and how her son is surely with her. Thank you, Hector.
Thank you. And the last thing I'll say is in that exchange you'll have, perhaps it begins when you tell the story to someone else. And also let yourself be surprised by stories from moms who went through the same thing as you. And maybe they can also give you tools to always as a team and together life is better, right? So even if it's for a painful reason, it's good to meet people, right? Good people will enter your life. Paula sending a big kiss.
Sending you another huge kiss.
Bye bye. Well, you may have noticed that we've had one of the most special shows already, and the year has just begun. Mothers of pain, so to speak, of spiritual pain, of the signs, and of life.